Well, you may, and quite rightly, feel that at times I'm ambiguous and, is he now speaking of himself or is he speaking of God? And what goes on here? It's not clear. How is this a blessing? Well, in the way that it gives you a freedom to therefore live according to your values, because you're unsure at present of what God's values are. So you do it your way, and you find out accordingly. Now you could say this is hazardous, and indeed it is, but it's not without, I was going to say, redress. You can attend to wisdom and scripture and guidance, such as seems to be available around you, but it won't be certain. You won't come across the guru who is for certain right. You may well put your trust in him that he is right, and find that it's not so well after all, that he wasn't. And things become quite sticky when you follow too closely his advice. That's the reality of the freedom you're given, so that you do have the freedom indeed to feel you can choose what at heart, according to who you are, your values, you value, you want, and do it, and learn accordingly. So we come. The uncertainty is a blessing. Isn't that amazing? And it protects you from devoting yourself to something less than a heavenly dad. Someone less. A guru, a priest, a guide, a mentor, a teacher, a master. Keeps you from that because you doubt. And the doubt is a blessing, not a curse. It protects you from being devoted to the wrong one. Now, your doubt is legion, and it's been applied to God too. You doubt God. But possibly you doubt God because the God you've been presented with is not your God. And you think, well, I'm not sure as I really value that. And so you are freed from all sorts of presentations of God by various people and religions and cultures and so on. My contention is you can only love your God, the one that embodies your values. Your values are what you value. What's the point in having a God you don't value? I mean, how could you be devoted to that? And of course people are not. They're not devoted to their religion's God necessarily at all. I mean, they try to be. But they should be devoted to their God, the one that personifies what they feel at heart they truly value. And then they will quickly find out, if you like, the truth of the matter. Oh, perhaps I don't value quite that, and you adjust it and tweak your values, and they become different through time. And we trust in the right direction towards fullness of life and life eternal, perhaps. What would be the point in trusting anything else? That would be irrational, wouldn't it? Strange. Let me listen to this recording again. I was at a Sikh gathering yesterday morning. It was Sunday, and my friend visiting from Fiji and Germany popped in on the way between the two. Been here is here for a fortnight. And I looked at the men sitting one side. I couldn't really see the women sitting the other side, too far away. Only the splash of colour of the clothing, which was rather lovely. But the men sitting isolated, serious, alone, downcast, I felt waiting for the end of the ritual, the waiting, the listening to the music being sung and played, and the service, if you like, whatever they, don't know as they call it, service. It's ongoing. You sort of come and go and have something to eat. And about 1,000 people in this temple, all with head coverings, of course, and I had my white, if you like, sailing cap on, you know. That apparently is acceptable. It's some sort of head covering. In fact, my friend was told off that she wasn't covering her head. I thought it was just the men, and then I realised, of course, it's the women, same as in what was once traditional Christianity. You had to cover, if you were a woman, the hair, or put something over the top. So she did, of course, because she is of Fijian Indian extraction. And no problem. She was told, so she did it. I just nodded to the chap who told us, you know, I understand he's doing what he thinks is right. Not a problem, not a problem. What was the problem? Oh, I looked at these. Oh, I just wanted to rescue any and everyone in the room from a religion that, well, was their culture. And they hold on to a culture which isn't necessarily a love of God. In fact, it looks very stern externally, but they do relate lovingly to each other when they meet someone that they feel they should know and should relate as family and so on. But then they settle back into this oppressed look. And I just think, oh, what's the quality of their life? Where's the joy? Where's the happiness? Where's the peace and the hope and the assurance and the vibrant love and relationship and communion? Instead, they're suffering this substitute. Well, I don't mean Christianity is any better, of course. I mean, I see that the same way. But somehow, in a different culture, it was easier to see than in your own. And I just felt, I can't reach these people. I mean, I assured myself, yeah, but that doesn't matter, God can. It's not your problem, Marshall. You're sent where you are, and you can operate there in your culture, in a sense. You know, New Zealand culture's become as much my culture as England was, Essex and so on, Suffolk teaching, university, Colchester. Dad's town, Southend, Mum's town, Cove, Farnborough, Hampshire. We're sent where we are. That's where we find we have been sent. Not darkest Africa. Well, unless you find you are in darkest Africa, it's not so dark. In fact, it's more sunny than anywhere else. Yes. Love you, Heavenly Dad. So we find our Heavenly Dad is our blessing and assurance, our confidence, our joy, our life. everything. Love you, Dad. Thank you, Dad.